There is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, Angreifer here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, first of all, I'm going to introduce the concept of the rework contest that I was talking about before, and then I'm going to give you my top 5 not obvious leads in the game. So basically, the top 5 not obvious leads in the game is I'm removing Lex, Martian Manhunter, Cheetah, and Green Lantern Hal Jordan from the list because they're the obvious best leads in the game, and so they will not be on the list. And from that point forward is where I'm going to make the list. Let's say the top 5, second tier, something like that. Maybe it's the middle 5, or maybe it's 6 through 10, or I guess 4 through 9, or no, 5 through 9. Maybe that's it. But this is the top 5 not obvious leads in the game. So before I get into any of this, I drop DC Legends videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Marvel Future Revolutions videos every Tuesday and Thursday. So please like, please subscribe, and if you don't like it, hit subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. Now, as far as the reworks contest, there is going to be a gift certificate at the end. It depends on how much participation is actually in the contest. The more participation, I guess, the higher the gift certificate is going to be. And it's probably going to be for like either the Apple Store, Google Play, or maybe Amazon or something. In fact, I might just give a value and then let you guys choose where you want the gift certificate to come from. But in any case, here's how it's going to work. There is a limit of 16 entries. I'm assuming I won't have 16 entries. But what the plan is that I want you to, I'm going to have 2 contests actually. Let's do it on both sides. I want you to be able to have 1, pick a character that is not in the game, that you want to be in the game. Okay, I'm trying to make sure my thumb stays on screen. Pick a character that's in the game, that's not in the game, that's not in the game, that you want to be in the game, and build an entire kit for them. Now, try not to be too ridiculous. Try not to make this a book, okay? And then the other is the rework contest, and that is pick a character that is in the game that has a terrible kit and that you're going to rework to make it a good kit. Now, don't rework Spectre to make Spectre into even more of a god. Like, pick a character that's not really used that much, that's not great to rework. But before you do any of that, because I don't know, I'm a small channel, so I don't know how many people actually really would want to do this or not. And I'm trying to keep control over it not being like 500 people, but also I only have 500 people who subscribe to this channel. And if it's only 5 people, you know, I'm trying to keep it like kind of a fair process balance. So what I want you to do is I'm going to provide a link in the description and in the pinned comments. Click on that link and it'll just have you add your name to the list. So what I'm trying to avoid is, let's say that I only have 16 slots in each of these contests. That's how I'm going to limit it. And so if it's less than 16 people, then I'm just going to take those 16 people. I'm going to make the brackets. I'll explain the brackets later. I'm going to make the brackets and everything is fine. However, if it's more than 16 people, it's going to be the first 16 people that get there that are going to have a slot to be entered into the contest, okay? Now, there's going to be exceptions. One exception is Doomslayer. Another exception is Bizarro #1. Those 2 guys have always dropped like rework compositions in my comment section, and they are like the genesis of this idea. So I'm not going to exclude them from it. They have automatic passes into it if you guys want. If you guys want, then just put a comment in the comment section below and just be like, I'm in. And that's for Bizarro and Doomslayer only. In fact, yeah, that's just for Bizarro and Doomslayer only. Everyone else, click that link and just type your name. Just put your name in there. And then what I'll do is, as everyone is settled in, I'll make the brackets. You guys write your reworks or your new kits. And then as the brackets, I don't know if you guys are fans of like basketball, NCAA basketball, but I'm going to do like a bracket tournament where I'm going to match up. One side is going to be reworks. One side is going to be new characters, okay? So you're not going to be 1 versus 15. What's going to happen is that you're going to have your kit versus one other person's kit, and whoever wins goes on to the next bracket versus the person who won the bracket below. So for those of you who may not know or may not understand, basically, in fact, I'll try to put up a image of what a bracket looks like, but basically you're going to have On this one side, there's going to be 16 contestants. On this other side, there's going to be 16 contestants. And there's going to be a little group for each of them. 1 versus 1, 1 versus 1, 1 versus 1, which means there's 8 matchups. And in each of those 8 matchups, whoever wins moves on to the next bracket. And whoever wins from that second one goes to the next bracket. And then the third goes to the next, so on and so forth. And then they'll face the winner from the last one, right? Now, how do we determine who wins? I'm going to set up a poll for each of these, all right? So what you're going to have to do is I'm going to have the reworks made. I'm going to read them out. And then I'm going to set up the videos so that people will be able to see what your reworks are and vote on which rework they think is better. So it would behoove you to share with your alliance if you want your guys to help you out and get past and on to the next bracket. But what I will say is, it's kind of hard to describe. It's a little bit abstract right now without having solid contestants in it, but it is going to be a NCAA basketball tournament March Madness style bracket where it's just 1v1, and as you work through the brackets, you get down to the final, and then the final is going to be the rework kit versus the new kit, and whoever wins that one is the one who wins the contest. So, and I think I'm going to do something like a 50 Swiss francs, which is about it's like 53, 54 US dollars gift certificate for whatever web shop of your choice. All right. So that's the rework contest. Link below, comment section, description. There's going to be a link. Click on the link. All you gotta do is put your name in. And that way, and don't start you can think about your rework and stuff, everything else, but I want to make sure the contest is going to be on and popping before you write a page of rework ideas. And the next thing you know, because only 3 people entered, there's no contest, right? So got to be real about it. So that way, when I have enough people, I think I'll let that sign up sheet stay around for about 3 or 4 days. And then I'll shut it down if there's enough people after 3 or 4 days. Then we'll go ahead and get the contest on and popping. All right. So that is the rework contest. Now, let's get into the not obvious top 5. Coming in at number 5 is a very farmable is a stretch. Is a farmable lead who deserves a little bit of a rework, and not even rework, but like a stat boost. That is Wonder Woman POT. In her kit, she has I'll just read through it. Damage to an enemy, 70% chance to purge one debuff from Wonder Woman. Purge 1 debuff on each ally if Wonder Woman has no debuffs, which is incredible. It's like she constantly removes debuffs from the team. Passive ability on the let's go ahead and just stay there. Purge 9 debuffs. That would be 10 if I would go ahead and take the last point. Purge 10 debuffs from self plus 3 debuffs from and apply 10% turn meter up to all allies. Apply debuff immunity to all allies. Like, she's designed to, one, cause some damage because she is a pain in the mid game, but she's also there to keep cleansing your team. Heavy damage to an enemy, purge 4 buffs, 5 if I had it fully ringed out, apply buff immunity to an enemy. So that's also, and here's the thing, she's still in-game viable because of all this ability to remove debuffs and to apply buff immunity and to purge buffs. Then on her passive ability, the A4P1, when taking damage, transfer a debuff on Wonder Woman to a random enemy, 100% chance to transfer additional debuff. If no debuff, also apply silence, 20% chance to use Amazon Strike on the attacker. And then the team lead is what's nuts, and I wish they would give her a boost so I can start using her again. At the end of turn, use Fury of Zeus, which is her A3, if no allies have a debuff or Power of Truth if all allies have a debuff, agility plus 60% and speed plus 15%. So either she's going to, and this is the weird thing, if you have one character with a debuff, then neither one of these proc. But if everybody's free of debuffs, then she's going to go ahead and hit with her heavy hitting A3 again. And if all of your team have debuffs, then she's just going to purge debuffs. So she's incredible. I really wish they would give her a boost so I could actually use her a little bit more. So now number 4 is a recent rework. You guys might be able to guess who it is. It is Aquaman. I just did a video on him. I'm not about to go fully through his kit, but the main point that makes him incredible is the fact that on his A5, if he's at team lead, he will give your entire team crit immunity. On top of all that, based on his passive ability, he doesn't even have to be at lead, but on his A4P1, if he is affected by turn meter, then he's going to reduce the enemy team's turn meter by 30% and give your team 40% turn meter based on I Am Your King. You use I Am Your King, and that is what's going to give you the 40% turn meter up and crit immunity, and apply crit immunity to everyone on the team, plus 30% turn meter down from Maelstrom. So it's like a 70% shift in turn meter, which has effectively eliminated Black Flash from the meta. So that is Aquaman. He is number 4 on the list. Number 3 on the list is very, very, very underrated. And I'm realizing that, I got a lot of Mystic leads on here. So number 3 on the list is Enchantress. Your team starts off with damage immunity, overheal. She is probably the second best healer in the game behind Lex, and Lex is only that kind of a healer because of the buff, the medium overheal on buffing. But second best healer in the game. She's constantly healing your team, relatively regularly giving your team damage immunity. She is absolutely infuriating to deal with if you want to. She has a lot of great synergies with like Bane, Black Lightning, all within the mid game. So I would definitely say Enchantress is an incredible lead. Had a recent rework, and that rework she was already good before the rework, and now she's like great since the rework. So I think she probably, like, her rework came when I was well into the end game, but I think for mid game she's probably incredible. So I used her a lot in the mid game, quite honestly, before that rework, and it was with Bane, it was with Black Lightning, and I think it was also with Stripe. Anybody who benefited from overheal. So Enchantress is incredible and underrated. Now on to did not mean to do that. Slippery fingers. Now we go on to number 2, which is Darkseid. Darkseid, he could be number 1 if I'm being real about it. Darkseid on his A1 stuns and gives himself intelligence ups. On his A2 gives doom and reduces turn meter. On his A3 it just smacks. He also, that passive ability whereby after every ally's turn, they have a 75% chance to attack again with their A1. That is nuts good. And actually, there was another ability that you often forget about, but they'll call assist on themselves from a teammate or a random enemy if Darkseid has 5 or more buffs, which he always does because he's always buffing himself. He also gains 10% turn meter up and 2 stamina ups and 10% turn meter up. 95% chance to gain 4 intelligence up every time an enemy is affected. Like, and I could put that to 100%, but 95 is okay. But he's gonna get intelligence ups, get stamina ups, and turn meter up every time the enemy team buffs. Nuts good. And number 1, and this might be more of a sentimental pick than an actual logical pick because Darkseid might be better than him, but I'm not sure that he is, and that is Red Hood. Red Hood hits pretty hard. His A1 has multiple shots, but he has bleeds that can't miss, heal immunity that can't miss, which is great for revivers and dealing with like Barda, for example. His A3, he'll toss it out, leave a bunch of bleeds, but then goes invisible, so there's no retaliation against him. And then his best is at lead. When an enemy dies, apply 1 buff immunity and turn meter down 50% on all allies, which really does actually reset it. Also steal 2 buffs from each enemy and send them to a random ally. So he is dumb good. Like he is so good that you don't even have to have him at lead. Like his leadership ability is great and amazing, but you also can run him off lead and he's just as good. Like he is a great, well-rounded toon. Absolutely incredible. So that is my top 5. You have Wonder Woman POT, you have Aquaman, you have Enchantress, Darkseid, and then number 1 is Red Hood. Let me know who your top leads are that aren't the obvious ones. Come on, let's take the obvious ones out. Let me know who your top leads are. Also, don't forget, submit yourself for the contest if you want to do the reworks and if you want to, participate in this whole kind of like contest tournament thing I'm trying to do. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.